I'm about to run 6 marathons on 6 continents in 6 days.
The marathon. 26.2 miles of pure grit and determination that can result in stress fractures, dehydration, and even cardiac arrest. It's a challenge so difficult that less than 1% of the human population will ever complete it. And today, I'm gonna attempt to do the unthinkable by running 6 marathons on 6 continents in just 6 days, with the goal of setting a new world record by becoming the first human on planet Earth to attempt this self-aided.
Starting right here in Sydney, Australia.
And thank you to Shopify for sponsoring this video. Logistically, this challenge is a nightmare, and most nightmares begin in the middle of the night. So I'll be starting this challenge at exactly midnight in Sydney.
And I have a flight to catch in 6 hours to get to the Asia portion of this trip. So I'm gonna do what I thought was the best option possible. Run straight to the airport. Let's set a world record, baby.
I'm starting this challenge at midnight on a Tuesday morning because in order to set a world record, I need to finish the final continent on Sunday morning at the New York City Marathon. And because I'm flying economy on commercial flights throughout the challenge, I have to take whatever flight is available. And unfortunately for me, that means 6 a.m. out of Australia. So yeah, the clock is ticking.
Kind of weird being out here at night. There's very few places in the world that I'm uncomfortable at night. I've never been to Australia before, but it seems super chill.
My goal for this first marathon is simple. Get to the airport with enough time to get on my first flight. And because my flight is at 6 a.m., I'd like to finish this marathon in 3 hours and 30 minutes. To put that into perspective, less than 10% of men running the marathon can finish with that time. And right away, I was hitting obstacles.
All right, I made it to Bondi Beach, but it's like 35-mile-an-hour winds. It's like a headwind too. It's making this pretty hard. Woo! Nobody said it was gonna be too easy though. Good golly. That's windy, man. That's windy. Woo!
But you know what they say, nothing worth having comes easy. And honestly, that's just a tiny window into what this challenge has in store.
All right, so we're like 14 and a half, approaching 2 a.m. This is where things start to get a little bit risky. Essentially, as we approach that 2 a.m. mark, it gives me 4 hours till my flight takes off, which is fine and dandy. However, in Australia, they recommend being at the airport 3 hours before your international flight. I'm a little worried about the time crunch, but I just need to keep going.
There's something about being paranoid in the middle of the night that literally every human being can relate to. Times that by 1 million. That's what I was feeling as I was trying not to think about my next flight. Literally, this entire challenge hangs in the balance as I rush to finish just the very first marathon.
There's mile 20. We're getting close. It is 2:38 a.m. So I've got 6 miles left, 6.2 to be exact, which, you know, it's a bit dicey. We're getting close. The time crunch is real. I'm gonna barely cut it.
Barely cut it is like the worst possible thing that you can imagine hearing at the beginning of a 6-day challenge. But hey, that's where we're at. But thankfully, I grinded out those remaining miles and finished with a final time of just over 3.5 hours.
Too easy. All right, 3:30 in the morning. 1 marathon down in Sydney, Australia. Let's go to Asia, baby. Let's go to Asia.
Making it to the airport in time for any flight feels like you just won the lottery, but considering my circumstances, I was beyond stoked. However, there's something that I haven't told you all yet. In order to set a world record, I need to do this completely self-aided, which means I need to travel as light as humanly possible. I think you can see where I'm going with this. I do not have a change of clothes, and I don't have any way to shower before this flight.
The status on my flight is relax. I've never heard a better word in my life. That makes me so happy.
I could not be more stoked about our current status. I made it through security. Nobody has complained about how terribly I stink, even though I know that I stink, like badly. At this point, I have burned well over 2,500 calories, which means I need to fuel up as soon as possible and get some sleep. My next marathon takes place in like 16 hours. The time crunch of this entire challenge is unfathomable. I need to get going. I got a Coca-Cola. I'm gonna drink that for calories and recovery, do some stretching, get to my gate, get ready for the next one.
And after drinking that Coca-Cola, I grabbed a breakfast sandwich, some body spray, body wipes, and a sweatshirt for my 15-hour flight to the next continent.
Guys, I think I hit the absolute jackpot. Dude, this flight is like the most empty flight I've ever seen in my entire life, which means I get an entire row to myself in like 15-ish hours, 16 hours, depending on how quickly I get through customs when I get to Dubai. I will basically just start running again because I have about 10 hours in Dubai and I need to make use of literally every hour that I'm there. Yep. It's time to recover.
In order to run 5 more marathons over the next 5 days, I am going to need to put a heavy focus on recovery, which means sleeping as much as humanly possible between marathons. The hard part is my body has to deal with jet lag every single day, which means it's nearly impossible to sleep. So even though I had a complete row to myself, I only managed to get 2 hours of sleep before landing in Dubai. So yeah, imagine running a marathon after completing a marathon and getting just 2 hours of sleep.
I'm trying to go run a marathon here, so I need some fuel.
One thing you should know about me is that I am a severely optimistic person, and that optimism oftentimes gets me into situations that honestly nobody should be in. And even watching this footage back, I can't help but think, oh, Isaiah, you have no idea how hard this is about to be.
Welcome to the Dubai portion of this trip, folks. Let's freaking go. That's crazy. 16-ish hours ago, I finished my first marathon. I'm stoked that I'm here in Dubai, and I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't want to jinx this, but I'm feeling kind of bouncy. Trying to hydrate like a crazy man. Already drank half of this. Got myself my fuel for my run, and I got myself a blueberry muffin. I'm literally just stuffing calories into my body. I've also got some coffee. I think that caffeine is one of the greatest things ever for running. It is 1:40 right now. I would like to begin running in 20 minutes. That is absurd. I'm going to try to start running in 20 minutes.
And before I knew it, those 20 minutes were up, and I began to conquer continent number 2.
Dubai's so funny. It's definitely not a runner's city. Like, these paths are nice, but they appear out of nowhere. There's nothing there. There's no sidewalk. It's just out of nowhere. All of a sudden, there's a crosswalk. Not great for running, but we'll take it.
No sidewalks is definitely not fun, but what I came to realize rather quickly here in Dubai is that I will have many more obstacles in my near future.
All right, I'm only 2 miles in, but a little bit of an emergency stop here. I can feel some chafing going on the legs. Not welcomed. Not welcomed chafing.
So much of this challenge is seeing problems ahead of myself and solving for those problems before I get to them. One thing that I can't fix, though, is heat. Something that I was completely unprepared for and quickly started to cause issues.
You guys can see that I'm absolutely soaked at the moment. I am 5.3 miles in, and I just burned through both of my flasks. And I just can't risk getting dehydrated, so I'm stopping at this gas station to get some water. Yeah, dehydration is not an option, because if I get dehydrated today, it could ruin the rest of today and tomorrow.
Dehydration is a runner's worst nightmare. Basically, when it sets in, your muscles start cramping up, you might have a headache, and even get nauseous. It's usually when your brain starts screaming, you gotta stop. So in order to prevent this, taking water is great, but I also need to quickly replenish my electrolytes. So I'm filling my flasks up with 1 scoop each of salty hydration electrolyte mix, which is packed full of electrolytes.
Wow! What? So cool.
At this point, my spirits were pretty high, but I don't think I really understood how much energy the heat was sucking out of me. And by the time I made it to the halfway point, I was struggling.
All right, 12.2 miles in, so I'm not even halfway. 2 hours and 15 minutes. This is a lot, man. I am hurting. Not my legs feel really good. Actually, it's just complete exhaustion. The sun absolutely destroyed me. The sun just like sucked all of my energy. I can do this. I know that I can do it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The second half of this run felt a heck of a lot harder than the first half, and it's difficult to explain exactly what I was feeling. My legs felt pretty fresh on this run, but I think that the lack of sleep was starting to play a pretty big role, something that I was completely unprepared for.
The really incredible thing is that my legs are actually not that wrecked.
It took me another solid hour to finish this marathon, and when I did, I could not believe that it was over.
I'm so...
This is a pretty critical point in the challenge. I am only 30% of the way done. I've just ran 2 marathons on 2 separate continents in a single day, and as you can see, my body and my mind have nearly reached a breaking point. As I think back to that moment, I can hardly even remember what I was feeling. It's almost like I completely blacked out, and thankfully, I made it to the airport with plenty of time to get food, water, and get to my next flight.
So before I ran this morning, I stowed my sweatshirt. And now I'm getting pretty cold. I'm checking to see if my sweatshirt's still there. If it's there, it's literally a miracle, but no way. I can't believe that worked. Sweatshirt acquired.
It's crazy what one little win can do for the morale, and it sounds stupid, but finding that sweatshirt was the win that I needed for right now, as well as hitting a buffet, drinking a Coca-Cola, and ordering a Shake Shack burger before getting on my next flight.
I just ran 2 marathons on 2 continents in a single day. I did not realize this, and I'm actually so thankful that I didn't check until after I finished. But the majority of today's run was in high heat, 92 degrees to be exact. Probably drank like a gallon of salty hydration, trying to eat as much food as humanly possible. I have burned over 7,000 calories today. I've got about 3 hours of sleep under my belt in the last 24 hours, and I need food desperately. So, bon appetit.
And after devouring that food, I went to my gate to board my flight to the next continent. At this point, it's absolutely essential that I get some sleep, which is exactly what I did on this short 8-hour flight to South Africa.
I got like 2 hours of sleep. I'm not excited about that. Sometimes, folks, that is just how the cookie crumbles. Yeah, I'm in South Africa now. Marathon number 3, baby. I can't believe I'm here right now. My legs feel really good, actually. Come on. My plan is simple. I'm going to go and find some food in this airport. Then I am going to go to a place that I found on Reddit that sounds like it might be good for running. Yeah. All right, let's go find some food. Calories, calories, calories. I am seeking calories. I literally just need to stuff my face. So.
At this point, I've burned over 7,500 calories in the last 36 hours, and it's essential that I fill up with calorically dense food, which is exactly what I did before starting my next marathon.
Got a little bit of a late start, but I was doing some planning, trying to figure out where the heck am I supposed to run in this monstrously large city. I found this sports complex called Jep, I think. Jep Quandum, I think is Quandum. I'm probably terribly mispronouncing that. And I ran into some people that might actually run with me, which is so fun. My flight is in like 10 hours or so. I need to look at that. Really hoping that this does not cause too much pain. All right. Marathon number 3. Let's get this party started.
So when I build these routes, I use Strava heat maps, which show me spots where other people run frequently. What I didn't realize is that people straight up run on the road with the cars in South Africa. But what I quickly found out is that being run over was not going to be my biggest problem.
I have been about to throw up this entire run. And I really don't want to throw up. Because if I throw up, that means dehydration. That there goes my fuel that I just consumed. I really want to keep it down, but it's also really uncomfortable. I have needed to throw up, and I've had that feeling in my stomach like you're gonna throw up this whole run. It really is a mind game. It really is. 40%. Lock in 40%.
We all know that feeling in our stomach when you can tell that something just isn't right. Your mouth starts to water a bit, and you know what's coming next. I'm not trying to gross any of you out, but I'm trying to paint a picture of what my body was going through just 8 miles into my 3rd marathon. And if it wasn't for the folks that continued to cheer me on here in South Africa as I struggled through the remainder of these miles, I'm certain that I would have pulled the plug on the entire challenge.
Just about to hit 26.2 with Matthew, Steven, and Doug. Wow. Wow, what a marathon. Marathon number 3. Legs are pretty cooked. But what a run. That was
Even
awesome.
though I just finished my 3rd marathon and with plenty of time to spare before my next flight, my body and my mind were going through something that I haven't experienced yet on this challenge. And it wasn't until I sat down that it really hit me.
You're slipping away, my friend. 3 marathons. They've all been like 12 hours apart. I've slept a total of 6 hours since the beginning of this challenge. And wait, what did I just say? No. I think I said the wrong. I slept 6 hours. I don't know what I just said. Maybe that's the point. I am definitely delirious. I think, man, there's a part of this challenge that didn't think through that well. I didn't realize how emotionally exhausted and just alone I was going to feel. I love pushing myself to the limit, to the line, to see like, what can you do, man? Can you push a little bit harder, a little bit further? But my body has used everything that I can give it, and I'm like pushing and I'm 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 just like, lock in, man. Just lock the heck in. Whew. But doing it alone is, man, it is hard, dude. I got like a message from Tim Chuzano. It's just like a like, I'm cheering for you, buddy. You can do it message. And I just like, I was just like looking at it in the airport and crying, dude.
I've run a lot of marathons, and there's always this point in the race where you start to make deals with yourself. And I don't know if it's like a coping mechanism with the pain, or maybe it's unique to myself, but it was at this point in the challenge. I kept thinking, Isaiah, just get to London, put on your shoes, maybe run a few miles. Maybe you'll be fine. Maybe you'll get enough rest. Maybe you'll eat enough food. Maybe you'll feel amazing.
We were in the thick of it, as KSI would say. 8 hours total of sleep since the last marathon. I mean, without that, I just don't even think I could have finished. It's been an emotional roller coaster. I've cried a lot. Like a lot.
Living on a prayer might as well be the defining phrase of this section of my challenge, because it's quite literally what I was doing. I scarfed down as much of that food as my stomach would let me before taking the tube into the greater London area. And I'm not sure if it's those British dudes playing music or the fact that it's actually sunny out in London, but man, it felt like the tides were turning at this point, and I could not be more stoked.
Great Britain. We're in London, mate. Very excited. This is potentially the greatest day ever in England, I think, because it's like high 40s, perfectly sunny, no wind. My goal for this marathon is to see 5 major British monuments, which I'm going to tell you about right after I tell you about the sponsor of this video, Shopify. Shopify has actually been a long-time sponsor of the channel, but today we took our relationship to the next level. When I started my running journey, I had this dream of starting a business that can help serve me as a runner, but also other people, which is when I came up with the idea for Salty Hydration. The best hydration, I think, on planet Earth. And after a year of formulating and figuring out what it's gonna look like, packaging, all these other things, I had a product, but it's like, where are you gonna sell this thing? And that's where Shopify comes in. Shopify is the perfect all-in-one hub for aspiring entrepreneurs that want to bring their idea into a reality. Whether you're selling in person or online, which I happen to be doing both of, Shopify makes managing and growing your business a seamless experience. Think of Shopify as a toolkit with basically everything you need to make sure that your business gets off the ground and honestly goes straight to the moon. Let's get those ideas off the ground, guys. I know we got some good ideas in the chat. You guys, if you have an idea, you want to start a business, stop dreaming about it. Start today with Shopify. Use the link in the description. I'm telling you, it's going to be the best decision you make all year. All right, these miles aren't getting themselves. Let's go run.
The entire week previous, it had rained in London, and the next full week was forecast to rain. So yeah, I decided that I needed to make the most of this good weather and see some British stuff.
I want to see 5 awesome things here in London. Hyde Park, Buckingham Palace, Westminster Abbey, the London Tower, and finally, Big Ben.
Maybe it was the fact that I had gamified this run, or maybe it was the good weather, or the fact that I got to sleep on most of last night's flight. But man, I was feeling good.
Hey, Buckingham Palace. That's 2. We got 2 out of the way. That's crazy. We're only like 2.5 miles in. Nice.
I also may have done a pretty bad job of creating my scavenger hunt because I had hit 3 locations in like the first 3 miles, but hey, I've still got 2 left and 23 miles of this run.
Mile 3.5, and I've already checked off 3 of them. Can't believe it. Maybe this place isn't that big after all. I am really looking forward to seeing Big Ben at some point.
I continued on my quest to see Big Ben, and this entire run just kind of felt like therapy. Like most people, I'd like to think that I'm a person who has high pain tolerance and the ability to endure difficult things with a smile on my face. But at this point, I realized that I truly just don't understand how my body is run. I really started to view it as some sort of science experiment, fully expecting my body to break so that I can examine what to adjust for next time. But holy heck, unbelievably, I'm still going. And I was able to finish that marathon in just over 4 hours.
26.2. I'm definitely more tired than I thought I was going to be doing this. At like mile 14, 15, I felt like I was floating. I thought I was going to negative split this entire second half. I do not think that happened. We ran a 4:14. It's a good thing. I have 10 hours to spare before my next flight. The weather was incredible. Shout out London. Wow. Let's get to the airport.
Finishing that marathon in some ways felt like finishing the entire challenge. Remember how I told you about making deals with myself on these challenges? Well, the deal that I had made with myself for this one was that if I can make it to the 5th continent, then I can finish the challenge. Which is pretty hilarious when you consider that I still have 2 marathons left and what I've already put my body through so far.
I'm officially 72 hours into this challenge. I have ran 4 marathons on 4 continents. I have ran 104 miles, 282,000 steps, 34 hours on planes, burned over 14,000 calories, and I'm pretty sure I've eaten like less than half of that because of the stomach issue, so I'm severely underfueled. And finally, I slept for less than 8 hours. How do I have this energy? I do not know. At this current moment in time, my body feels pretty good, all things considered. So I'm going to lean into that. I'm going to go to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. I'm going to get a toothbrush. I'm going to get ready for this flight.
So yeah, I visited Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, ate as much fish and chips as I possibly could, and hopped on my flight to the 5th continent, South America.
All right, I've been chatting it up with Kate, Max, and Jack, my British friends from London. And you guys think I got a good marathon in Chile? Or you got this for Kate's been trying to get me to run in the mountains. I'm not gonna run in the mountains. That's a bad idea. But all right, I say too easy when I'm making a video, sort of like a mockery of like how hard something actually is. So can we all say too easy on camera? All right, 1, 2, 3, too easy.
Yeah, let's be honest, okay? That was probably the saddest too easy that we have ever heard on this channel. But give Kate, Max, and Jack a break. I mean, they're British. But in all seriousness, it was lovely meeting some people and talking about our goals and dreams, which is really what this whole challenge is about. Chasing down one really ridiculous dream. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but as I land in Chile, I am one step closer as I prep myself for the 5th marathon.
All right, this is Tiago. He came to the airport to wish me luck on my 5th marathon. Yes. Thank you, Tiago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. You think I can do it?
Yes.
Too easy, right?
Too easy.
Too easy.
And with that too easy, there was really only one thing left to do.
Top 5, let's get it.
Okay, so I do have a bit of a confession, you guys. I'm kind of a classic procrastinator, and before I started this challenge, my goal was to have a route figured out for each continent. But by the time I began in Australia, I had only finished the first 3. So yeah, I decided I would just run from the airport in Chile and see where I end up. Little did I know, I was in for a few surprises.
All right, so I recently just hit mile 12, and my plan initially was to run into the city 13 miles and 13 miles back to the airport. We're getting close to that. I'm almost halfway. However, while I was on the plane, Kate, she was trying to convince me I should run up a mountain, which initially I was like, that is the silliest thing I've ever heard. Did you not hear me? I just ran 4 marathons, Kate. How dare you think that I can run up a mountain right now?
Yeah, no, I ran up the mountain because I just can't resist a good little challenge. And let's be honest, it was 100% worth it. So thanks, Kate. That was actually a really good suggestion. I even stopped for a nice little refuel at this coffee shop and paid this photographer for a photo to remember the run. And after running up that mountain, the only way to explain the second half of this run back to the airport is that it felt like a dream in the most real sense. Maybe it's sleep deprivation, being physically and emotionally exhausted, but finishing this challenge is finally in sight. And I couldn't be more grateful for every single step that I've been able to run.
I just can't believe it, you know? I can't believe that I'm actually gonna pull this off. Oh man, gosh.
And even though it does feel like the end is in sight, I still have 1 full marathon left to run. And, well, when I got back to the airport, it seemed like there was only one thing left to do before I get back to the States.
Okay, I found McDonald's. I don't know why I'm so excited, because I feel like I've eaten such literal garbage this entire trip. But it's calories in, guys. That's all that matters. And if I know anything about McDonald's, it's that I'm gonna get a lot of calories.
So I did what any good American would, and I loaded up on McNuggets, a Coke, and a McFlurry before boarding my final flight. And because this challenge was so front-loaded, I actually had a full day of rest before my final marathon, which made it possible for me to stop by my friend Tyler's pop-up for his run club, Endorphins, and hand out coffee to the people of New York.
We got shirts! We got coffee!
I not only got to hug countless friends, but my wife also surprised me, and you could say that my stoke level was out of this world. I might be close to being done, but I'm not done. And in order to finish this thing, I had to pick up my bib, find my name on the board, and get my final sleep.
In 10 hours, I will toe the line of my final marathon here in New York City, completing a challenge that I, quite frankly, did not think was possible 6 days ago.
And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm still pretty dang nervous for the final marathon. I've ran over 125 miles in the last 5 days, which is no joke. And even though I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, there's still work to do. So I got up at 4 a.m. in order to catch my bus to the start line and got my mind ready for the greatest marathon on planet Earth, the New York City Marathon.
All right, so this is it. I can't believe that it's marathon number 6. I don't know if it's possible or not, but
Se siete stati
I would love
assegnati
for
a
New
una
York to be the fastest
ma i
marathon
recinti di
of
partenza sono già stati chiusi.
Yeah, I don't really know what I was thinking. Like, how the heck am I gonna make marathon number 6 my fastest one? Not possible, right? Well, I'm gonna try it anyways. So I got behind the 3-hour group like an absolute madman, and I did what I've been doing this entire week. Run a marathon.
Not sure why we're running this fast, but we are.
Yup, my second mile was a 6-minute mile, which is probably the fastest mile of this entire week. And it's no secret that running too fast towards the beginning of any race is ill-advised. I mean, the last thing that I want is to blow up halfway through my final marathon. But for some reason, it just felt right.
Feels good. I'm feeling amazing right now. I was just cruising.
If you've never raced a marathon, it's hard to explain the adrenaline that you're feeling when you're surrounded by thousands of other people chasing down a goal. But on top of that, throw in 2 million spectators screaming at you to keep going. That'll light a fire under your legs that you did not know existed.
13, feeling good with my man. Looking for sub 3 maybe, I don't know. Legs feel fresh.
I love the halfway mark of the marathon. It feels like you've collected enough data to know exactly how the rest of the race is gonna go. And I'm gonna be honest, at this point, I knew that this was gonna be a sub 3 hour marathon. As I was rounding out the rest of this race and really the rest of this week, there's one feeling that just kept coming back to me: gratitude. I'm grateful for these miles. I'm grateful for this body. I'm grateful for my wife and kids who never stop cheering me on. And I'm grateful for you. Thank you for following along, and my deepest hope is that you find the courage to chase down your own crazy dreams, because after all, it's too easy.
6 marathons, 6 continents, 6 days, 256, and some change. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. It's too easy. Hi. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.